Hello, welcome to the Local Anesthetic Podcast, your regular injection of weird, funny, bizarre news. You know the drill. This is episode 387. Good to see you, Rob, on another nice day. How are you?
I'm very well, yeah. I'm actually enjoying the fact that spring is officially here. It has been for a while now, but it's just nice. Do you know what it was? March was so miserable. And
yeah,
I realised that I'm really getting to the point where I just despise winter. I just need the sun, and my holiday is coming up rapidly now. I can't wait, Alex. Really can't wait.
I don't mind winter. I just wish it was a bit shorter, basically a couple of weeks. Did you have a good Easter, Rob?
Yeah, it was very pleasant actually. Yeah, we had family down. Yeah, it was very enjoyable actually.
Good, Rob. I was thinking last week when we were talking about a platypus, and I asked, was there another creature that looked like a platypus? And it wasn't that. I realised when I was editing the episode that I was thinking of that isn't there a platypus, but isn't there also a duck-billed platypus?
Are they the same? I think they're the same thing.
I don't know. Well, no, but then why would you have one that's called a duck-billed platypus? You know?
I feel that's something. Do you know what? I feel that's something in I'm happy to admit that I'm pretty sure that the midway point in my life. I don't see myself living past 80. And I feel that I should know whether those two things are different or one and the same.
So, Rob, did you just say you're past the midway point in your life and you don't see yourself living past 80? But you're not 40 yet.
No, I think that's fair.
But you're not 40 yet, Rob.
No, I'm not far off, though. It's only a couple of months now.
Is it? Your birthday's February?
I'm 39, though.
Right, okay, yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
It's a lot of months off.
Okay, look, Rob, let's just get on with this.
Right, fine.
I just need to do an update. Right, part of the problem is now that the Patreon is no more, we used to use the Patreon to cover some of those more near-the-knuckle stories. Now, as I was saying to Rob, we're going to have to import some of those into the regular podcast and be a bit more sensitive about them, which is fine. I'm just going to give an update and let people look up the story for themselves because I really can't read this out, Rob. It's from the South Wales Argus.
Right.
I just need to give you the headline. It's by Ewan Gabe Davies from, just the headline. Newport pervert jailed for stroking his courgette back in court. I can't.
Okay, yeah.
It involves a courgette, a pair of leggings, and him wearing the leggings as well. I can't tell you anything else.
Oh, God.
You just have to look it up.
Okay.
All right?
Fine. What a shame.
Right,
what a shame.
Okay. Yeah. Right, let's go to the Daily Voice. Wherever that is. I've got no idea. It's by Jerry DeMarco. It's definitely in the United States. I mean, you can just tell with Jerry DeMarco, right?
Yeah.
Headline: Silent clown masked visitor leaves suspicious item at major testing lab in Elmwood Park.
Right. Is that suspicious item fecal in nature? Just out of interest?
We'll get on to it. A Westchester County resident who works at one of the largest clinical testing labs in the US triggered a large emergency response Friday when she walked into the Bergen County building wearing a devil mask, handed a supervisor a jar of salsa with her name on it, and left without saying a word.
Okay. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre.
Ray Greenwald, 27, of Ardsley, New York, and the supervisor at Bioreference Laboratories just off Route 80 in Elmwood didn't know one another and apparently had never met before. Police Chief Michael Folingo said.
Michael Folingo, what a great name.
However, Greenwald, who works in another building...
Officer Folingo. It sounds like a quite depraved sexual act.
I quite like for our list of comedy names that we keep amassing, along with Rusty Warren from last week, I'm going to put Michael Flamingo down.
Yeah.
Which is different because I'm changing it, but Flamingo. I like it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's good. It looks good on paper.
I feel that if it's going to be Flamingo, it needs to be a really sort of run-of-the-mill first name. Like, I don't know, something like Jason or
Bob.
Darren.
Bob.
Darren Flamingo.
Okay, you're right.
How do kids? Right. Darren Flamingo. Like a really sort of, 1980s children entertainer.
So far for our new list, Rob, we've got Rusty Warren and Darren Flamingo.
Love it.
Greenwald, who works in another building, told police she'd heard that the female supervisor was hard-ass, so she decided to pull a stunt that would make her feel uncomfortable. The commercially produced salsa was harmless, the chief of police said, but the supervisor didn't know that. Nor did a throng of emergency responders, among them a Bergen County Hazardous Materials Unit, the County Bomb Squad, and Borough Police firefighters who converged on the bioreference campus while the building was being evacuated of 125 or so employees. Fuck. How would you react if that happened to you, Foligno asked. As the experts were determining that the spicy mixture was harmless, save for a potential pang of heartburn, police went looking for the masked stranger. It turned out to be relatively easy. Greenwald had used her swipe card to enter the building. The company also had surveillance footage. From there, it was simply a matter of identifying Greenwald with help from Bioreference's human resource folks and then pinging her cell phone. Greenwald was picked up a short time later in Clifton. They considered charging her with causing a false public alarm, but they went with harassment and disorderly person's arrest, however, after consulting the prosecutor's office. Bioreference Laboratories is the largest independent clinical laboratory in the Northeast and one of the biggest full-service speciality laboratories in all of the US. I mean, you would think it was some kind of terrorism, wouldn't you? Somebody walks in wearing a devil's mask and hands you a jar of a mysterious substance.
Absolutely. I don't understand. Just because the supervisor apparently was a hard ass, she wanted to try and scare her. Is that what we're saying here? I don't quite understand.
Yeah, it sounds to me, Rob, that it was just a prank gone wrong.
Well, Alex, if you ask me, I personally relished that story.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks.
Right, Rob, now we're just going to finish here with a classic story. NBC Montana. April the 5th, 2023. No journalist. Naked man driving stolen school bus with dead deer inside. Leads police on chase.
Yep, classic.
I've got to tell you, this is one of those stories only in America. I mean, honestly, that phrase is overused, but yeah. Do we want to, before we get into the detail, do you want to speculate why he was driving a stolen school bus naked with a dead deer in the back? And try and think of something that isn't sexual? No, I did think he was planning it. I thought he was planning a very enjoyable weekend, yeah.
He was going to be wearing that deer at some stage, wasn't he? Both sexually and literally.
What?
First Adams County.
Okay, look, a strange situation spanning Adams, York and Cumberland counties in Pennsylvania happened early Tuesday morning. According to Carroll Township Police Department, police received a call on Tuesday about seeing a stolen bus being driven by Tony Saunders. Now, can I just say, Tony Saunders is a very British-sounding name. Tony Saunders.
He sounds like a character that would have been in The Sweeney. Do you know what I mean? Something you can just imagine, like a gritty
Minder.
Yeah, exactly. He would have been like an informant or something.
Yeah. So the bus was being driven.
Criminal that's trying to go straight.
Right, Pennsylvania State Police in Gettysburg reported the same stolen bus and were on the lookout, especially in York and Adams counties. Officials say officers on patrol spotted the stolen bus driving through a giant Foods and Rite Aid parking lot. The school bus then turned west onto West Siddonsburg Road anyway, authorities say they later caught up to Saunders. At first, officers say the bus pulled over near the PA Turnpike, but shortly after pulled away, starting a chase with the police. Remember, Amazing. This has got him and a dead deer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Authorities say the bus later passed an exit for Lower Allen Drive and exited the highway. At this point, police say Saunders then drove over a berm, almost flipped the bus. Saunders then drove the vehicle onto Gettysburg Drive, turned into a nearby neighbourhood where he exited the bus and ran from the police. Officers say as Saunders ran, he stripped off his clothes until he was fully naked, running through numerous parking lots and busy traffic areas. Right, I've got a question. So he was not naked, Rob, while he was driving the bus. He became naked on the police chase when he exited the bus and he was running. Did he strip off the clothes to give him better aerodynamic performance in the run? Was that his thinking? I need to be,
he could be right.
smooth.
I think that the clothes
He started shaving his body hair as he was running, Rob.
That's the only thing I can think of. That his clothes were quite restrictive, and he thought that he could shave off vital seconds in order to make an escape. But also, I would think that by doing that during the run, you probably be delaying yourself, because trying to get off a pair of trousers whilst running is difficult.
Right. Yeah. Exactly, taking off the pants. Police say Saunders was then arrested, nude, and later admitted to taking the bus earlier Tuesday morning after crashing a BMW vehicle. So he crashed a BMW vehicle. It sounds like it's a bit of a GTA thing. He's crashed a BMW, then he's got in a school bus, driven it off. I don't know about the dead deer. Hopefully we'll get to that. According to law enforcement, Saunders also admitted to placing a dead deer inside the bus and was attempting to drive it to his home to use, Rob, as... Finish that sentence.
He's
going to use it as something. No. Come on, you've got 3 guesses. I want you to legitimately think. You've used one of them because with being stupid.
A table. Talking points. A carpet.
No,
a rug.
Fertilizer for his garden, Rob. Not a euphemism.
Right.
Saunders is currently being held at the York County Prison for fleeing an officer, receiving stolen property, reckless driving, and resisting arrest. The dead deer doesn't even feature on that list of charges. So apparently, if he'd just been driving and his regular car with a dead deer inside, no problem. The rest of it is the problem.
So, Alex, this is just an innocent man who was just trying, who maybe just came across some roadkill at the side of the road and was trying to get it home, but unfortunately crashed his BMW in the process, and had to take a school bus in order to get the deer to his house.
You're right, Rob. An innocent man. Okay, Rob, you got a story for us.
Yeah, this is one of those stories that is criminally too short because I really want to know more. Again, I think, we've already had 2 great stories from you, and I think this is another classic. So it's from the Brussels Times, who I think lifted the story from the French paper Le Libre. It is from the 4th of April. There's no journalist listed that I can see. The headline is late night game Monopoly in Brussels ends with samurai sword fight.
Okay, that is extraordinary. Sorry, Rob, we know each other so well.
Yeah.
A late night game of Monopoly in Brussels, first of all.
Yeah.
Which is the episode title, surely.
Yeah.
Ends in a samurai fight.
Yes.
This is like something made out. This is like something that's been spewed out of some random headline generator.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is also a good line, episode title, Random Headline Generator. Okay.
So, a fight broke out between 2 men in the Principality of Forest at 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, with both participants having to be taken to hospital after sustaining cuts from a katana sword. The reason for the fight? A late night game of Monopoly gone wrong.
Now, also, I always used to think, Rob, go on.
Oh no! Just as to say, a late night game Monopoly gone wrong is also a great episode title.
Oh God, that is fucking classic. Listen, in Brussels,
yeah.
I always used to think growing up that Monopoly, that all the Monopoly boards, wherever you bought it around the world, that it was all London centric. That i.e. that our Monopoly board was the Monopoly board. Regent's Park, Park Lane, Mayfair, Trafalgar Square. I remember the ones that were red. I remember the ones that were green. I remember what the high state... the blue ones were all right, Euston Road, but, Euston, sorry. But they weren't the big... Obviously, there were the brown ones, which were the ones that were like 60
Old
quid.
Kent Road,
Old Kent Road, yeah. Which, by the way, I wandered up as a child on my own, unattended, and was rescued by somebody after I escaped from a building. It's a true story. We'll tell that another day.
Okay.
But I found out in later life, and I have to admit, I felt pained that Monopoly is just, based on wherever it's located. So if you buy it like in America, I don't know, maybe it's based on like New York landmarks, I don't know, whatever it is. I was really disappointed by that. And to me, I feel like that disappointment was probably an echo, Rob, of the, like a kind of like solemn echo or cry about the demise of Britain, because I assumed in almost rather imperialistic fashion that Monopoly would be Britain-centric or London-centric all around the world, and it turned out, Rob, that it wasn't, that we were just, it was just localised. Is that making sense, Rob?
Yeah, it is. I mean,
Nigel, when I talked to Nigel about this, he understood. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, we were once, we owned half the globe at some stage. I think it's fair to say. So I think we should have.
I think it was a quarter.
Quarter of the globe. Sorry,
half.
Yeah. That in my head,
that just shows again. Yeah. Should have been.
Yeah, you're right, Alex. And I think I thought that once we left the EU, we could impose our will in regards to board games freely, but that just hasn't happened, unfortunately.
No,
so
it hasn't.
Just to
that's why I left. Yeah.
For board games. Understandably. There are two different facts that have been given here. Oh, okay. That's because that's so. According to Fiction Horizon website, apparently there are currently over 1,500 versions of the game.
See, that upsets me. So is there a way that we could try and petition to have one game, and we're going to say, and we're going to try and have it based on London?
We probably could. I mean,
I think I could be elected Prime Minister just on that.
My concern is that you'd be attracting a very specific type of person.
Patriots, Rob.
Patriot. Yeah, that's certainly one word for them. So I need to start looking for this website because it's giving me all the various different Pokemon. Who's playing Pokemon Monopoly? Apparently, there's a specific Mandalorian Monopoly, Big Bang Theory Monopoly, World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings.
Right. No, we don't need gimmicks. I'm never playing Monopoly again. I'm never playing Monopoly again. Hearing this, I had no idea. There shouldn't be gimmicky games. It's ridiculous.
Shrek Monopoly. Yeah. Right.
What? Anyway. Okay, I'm never playing it again. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
No, it's disgusting. Anyway, look, so the incident began with a group of 4 friends who were playing a board game on the pavement in front of the house, disturbing the occupant who came out in an attempt to move them away from the house. Okay, so it's a nice start, Alex. So you woken up one night by a disturbance outside your house to come out and see 4 people playing Monopoly on your pavement.
Sorry, yeah, I stopped listening at some point. They were playing Monopoly on somebody's pavement. Why?
Were they playing
pissed?
Monopoly outside the occupant's house at 5 a.m. So apparently, it's a late night rowdy game of Monopoly. You know how games
who's carrying around a game and then just laying it out on the floor?
It's a good question.
I know chess is often played outside, but I've never seen Monopoly being played outside because all the money could just flutter away in the wind, Rob.
It's a good point, Alex. Yeah, it's a very good point. So after an argument ensued, the resident's son came out to defend his father, armed with a concealed samurai sword. So the occupant has gone out to confront this group of men.
The fight isn't
Monopoly.
between the people playing Monopoly. I thought it was a very, very competitive game. It's between the homeowner and the people trespassing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So in the ensuing melee, the case in which the katana sword was stored was damaged, exposing the blade, and in the process injuring both the son and one of the Monopoly players. Which again is utterly bizarre. So the son came out with a concealed samurai sword, the case got damaged, and both he and one of the Monopoly players were injured as a result.
How did the case get damaged?
We don't know.
Right, okay, this is great journalism.
This is what we need, and this is what I mean, Alex. This needs more detail, unfortunately. So the Brussels Media Police zone confirmed the men had to be subsequently taken to hospital. While the board game player only suffered minor injuries and was released from both hospital and police arrest by Sunday evening. The son who owned the sword is currently in a life-threatening condition after the blade struck one of his arteries. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously, we're not wishing him any harm. But,
sorry, they're sort of fanning around this, Rob. The case wasn't. Somebody got hit here with a samurai sword.
Yes,
this is what happened. This was a proper attack. What happened was the guy in the house came out and drew a samurai sword on them and attacked them.
No, it was the son. So it was
the son then, whatever. So but they're flowering around. Yeah, but they're massaging all this to make it. What's all this broken case bollocks? This was a samurai attack. Although justified samurai attack. You can't play Monopoly on somebody's property, Rob.
No, Alice, you can't play Monopoly at 5 a.m. That's just out of order.
Anytime. Yeah. Legally in this country, Rob, if I found somebody in my garden playing Monopoly, as I understand it, I can take any legal recourse, any recourse I wish, and it will be legal. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so, as far as I understand the law. But also, Alex, we know from experience, I mean, how many arguments, disagreements, possibly even fights have broken out as a result of Monopoly? It's not an enjoyable game. No. It is, I hate to say it, it's the embodiment of capitalism.
I was about to say, it was a way of indoctrinating all of us into capitalism as kids, no?
No, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
And just to finish off this story, there is a picture of the Brussels version of Monopoly to really bring this whole story together. So
what's on that then? It's like the EU High Commission building there, or whatever.
Oh God, hang on. Let me just zoom in a bit. So
I don't think I could guess any of them.
I mean, it's in French. So it's got the the little boy pissing that statue.
What is the pieces?
No, it's one of the landmarks. What's that? I'm really bad. I really don't know what's in Brussels. It's got the weird, the sculpture with the balls.
Let's write to Stanley Johnson. He will know what all of them are.
Oh yeah,
he spent a long time in Brussels, didn't he, Rob? And
he did.
I understand he got around there quite a bit.
So I'm led to believe.
Rob, I think it was in the last Patreon episode, RIP, LAPodcast, an extra jab. It was on life support. They've now turned off the machine.
Yep.
Rob, was it on the LA Extra where you had that story about somebody stealing a giant spoon, 15-foot spoon outside a Dairy Queen?
It was. I think I was on Patreon actually. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
Well, anyway. Great. Anybody who wants access to those episodes, go to LAPodcast.net. There's a donate button, and we'll be in touch. We promise. It's by Graham Maisie from The Independent. 18th of March, going back a bit, sorry. Security guard gets dragged by truck while trying to apprehend thief of 3-foot foam carrot.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit of a spate of these kind of thefts, Rob. I mean, this is now, there's a pattern for them.
Apparently so.
A mall security guard got dragged by a fleeing truck as he tried to apprehend the alleged thief of a giant foam carrot. Now, do you want to speculate what the thief wanted to do with the foam carrot, Rob?
I mean, I could do, Alex, but I mean... It's going up his arse, isn't it? Oh, earplugs. No. That's it. Yeah, you're right, earplugs.
Police in Pennsylvania say the suspect ran after pinching the carrot from the Easter display at the Clearview Mall in the city of Butler. Again, what the fuck do carrots have to do with Easter, Rob? I'll tell you. Rabbits eat carrots.
Yep.
And rabbits have taken over Easter, Rob. Pennsylvania state police troopers responded to the mall after the giant carrot was reported stolen, and the security guard stated he had chased the suspect in a dark red Chevy truck into the parking lot. Police say when the security guard tried to open the door of the truck, he was dragged around for a quarter of a mile, Rob, at speeds of up to 35 miles an hour.
Hang on, Alex. Was he not seriously injured as a result of this?
Apparently, he has no injuries, which is quite incredible. After an anonymous tip, police eventually tracked down the stolen item at a home in Chicora, Pennsylvania. Officials say that two males, aged 20 and 18, confessed to taking the carrot. Neither man was taken into custody, but state police say the charges will be filed against them. Well, I would hope so, and I would point out that in other circumstances, maybe with people of other ethnicities, things might have turned out even worse. Rob, it's time for our listener story of the week.
Now, Alex, as I said, he is in a role at the moment. Face is Strange. Does it again? Yeah.
Do you think if Face is Strange ever becomes like Banksy, and his stuff is worth a fortune, will his contributions to this product, presumably even the artwork he's mocked up for us, Rob, will be worth something?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. We need to actually clarify with him whether we own the copyright or he does. Because if we ever started selling merchandise, for example, like T-shirts, I'm thinking of your posters outside the Albert Hall. Do we have to pay him a commission? Or how does this work?
Face of Strange, get in contact. Yeah, get in contact. Because I must say, there was that recent thing, did you hear about it, where Banksy had wanted to use that phrase. What is it? No exit sign, no exit through the gift shop.
Oh yeah, for his documentary, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a band that had that name, and basically he said, listen, I didn't want this name, will you give it to me, but I will do you a bespoke piece of artwork which is yours to keep and sell if you ever want to, sort of thing, which they agreed to, and they recently sold it for, I think it was 3 or 5 million. So they are now, I mean, lucky them. Is that, Face of Strange, is that the arrangement here? With the artwork you produced, like, come on, spread the wealth. If you're going to become fabulously wealthy and famous, can we auction off the picture of, for example, Rob being buggered by a bear? It's that, Face of Strange, this is actually a legitimate question. Could you get in touch and let us know? We don't want this to get nasty. We don't want this to end up in court. But
we will instruct solicitors if we need to.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going with this?
Well, no, I wasn't trying to make threats. I mean, you've just started making threats against our listeners. But, you know, we will defend ourselves vigorously.
I'm just saying, Alex, we've had that solicitor and retainer for about 10 years. We've never used him. I mean, he's made an absolute fortune out of this podcast. I just feel that he should really...
Well, he's working for Trump. He's working for Trump at the moment, so...
Oh, yeah, that's true. So he doesn't need our money, but he still takes it willingly. What a bastard.
Mm.
Sorry, yeah, I got distracted. So yeah, this is from Face of Strange. Now, we don't like doing this, but this is from The Sun, but that's fine. It is...
is it?
Apparent?
No, we do... Well, we're covering the story, but we don't buy it when we don't read it, like us.
No. We're obviously merely reporting it because we feel that you need to hear it. It's by Alex West. Apparently, it was originally published on the 26th and updated on the 1st of March this year. I don't know why they went back to it 5 days later. But the headline is, Koi, stop it! Village under siege from terrifying otter, which has killed and maimed dozens of koi.
So we're back to fish again, like last week. Fish,
we are
the
back,
food
back
of
to fish, yeah.
Fish, the food of Easter, as we discussed last week. And Fridays, fishy Fridays in Rob's house.
I have a question, because koi carp are obviously well known as being quite a luxury fish because they're not particularly cheap to buy.
Yeah, in my fish and chip shop, cod is the cod is like £10. Koi carp and chips is 25. I don't know if you've ever had it. It's delicious.
I don't know whether you're joking or not.
But I assume they don't sell koi carp in fish and chip shop, but it would be great if they did.
That was my question. Does anyone actually eat koi carp?
Oh, right. I will check it out for you now, my friend. Can you eat koi? This is when I get a knock on the door a few days. Koi are edible because folks eat carp all over the world. Koi, so some people say, why can't you eat it? They're very expensive for their ornamental and spiritual value, not typically thought of as a delicacy. I don't know. Yeah,
so you could, but you probably shouldn't. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, villagers are under siege from an otter which has killed and injured dozens of koi. Fish keepers are turning ponds into Fort Knox after predators caused carnage in night raids. I love the idea that an otter's going on a night raid.
So do I.
So Oliver George, 27, has lost carp worth £5,000. They included 27-year-old Big Bertha, whose carcass was flung across the garden.
I love the idea of it, like hitting the window. Just hitting the window and running down while the guy's having his breakfast. My koi carp! Brilliant. 27
years old. How Alex, can you also Google how long koi live for? Because that's ridiculous.
25 to 35 years, Rob.
Maybe that's why it's so expensive.
Fucking hell. You could grow... You could also develop quite an attachment. You could even have a relationship with one, you know. Quite meaningful.
So Mr. George apparently has installed electric fences, motion sensor alarms, cameras, a floodlight, and a fake heron.
There's the episode title, by the way. What was it?
So electric fences, motion sensor alarms, cameras, a floodlight, and a fake heron. Yeah, you're right, Alex. That's the episode title.
But we had the Brussels one earlier, the Monopoly. I don't know that was that this episode?
Oh God, yeah.
Was that this episode or the episode?
Yeah, it's Monopoly, Alex. It was only we only talked about it a couple of minutes ago. It's very concerning. Oliver said it's terrifying. Can only think it's a giant otter because some of these fish weigh a ton.
What the fuck is a giant otter?
I mean, it's quite self-explanatory, to be honest. But
no, let's have a look. Are they the size of a human? That would be perturbing.
I think he's speculating that it could be a giant otter because the fish weighs so much. So it'd have to be some heft.
Fucking hell. I'm looking at a picture of a giant otter now. It's like a sea lion.
Right.
It's very cute. It's very cute, though.
It is cute, Alex, but it'll rip your face off. And people forget that. Then they're not domesticated. We found Big Bertha just left on the lawn with her face half chewed off. I'm really enjoying this story. One neighbour found the body of a fish halfway down a track. The otter was taking fish for the sake of it. Another villager in Martock, Somerset, had 12 killed, while Carp Lake lost 30 the past month to a creature, a protected species. Dave Webb from the Wild Otter Trust said the animals hunted in ponds for easy food when rivers are flooded. Oliver has documented his battle with the otters on TikTok, with one video amassing more than 1.4 million views.
Sorry, is that like some kind of... Sorry, just a human battling with otters? It sounds like some sort of new sport that, like Ultimate Fight Championship, human v otter.
Alex, let's be honest. If it was on Channel 5, we'd all watch it. I mean, maybe I feel that you have to give the otter an advantage, to give the otter like a flick knife, and maybe give the man a plank of wood. Really make it entertaining. Get Bradley Walsh to host it. They'd love it.
If Channel 5 don't do it, Sky will.
Correct.
Well, Rob, that brings episode, what is this, 387?
Yes, correct.
Right, 387 to a close. Rob, I feel we need a new way to end Local Anesthetic Podcast. I mean, me just stating that we're going to be back in a week's time with episode 388 is just basic counting. We would say that anybody who's trying to sign up for the Patreon is no more. We're just going to be producing more regular content. If you want access to all those 45, 46, however many there are LA extra episodes, please donate. Go to lapodcast.net. There's a PayPal button there, and please set up a rolling donation or just a one-time donation to help support this podcast. You can be a member of this podcast that way, and you'll get access to all our Daft Talk episodes, all our LA Podcast and Extra Jab episodes. Rob, thoughts, reflections on the episode itself?
I've really enjoyed it, Alex. Also, again, I'm just going to put the teaser in. There is something else in development. There is something else coming that we hope you're going to like. But
hang on, possibly coming, because Rob, we still haven't,
we need to put some work into it. Whereas this, we just piss out.
Don't write checks your body can't cash, Rob.
Right. Is that a phrase?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but sure, why not?
Isn't it? Don't write checks.
Your mouth can't cash, isn't it?
I'm sure I'm right.
I mean...
Don't write checks your body can't cash. Hang on. Don't let your mouth... There's also the mouth. So you're right. Your ego is writing checks your body can't cash with the immortal words of Captain Tom Stinger Jordan in Top Gun.
Right, okay. Well, I haven't seen Top Gun, so yeah.
You watched I haven't seen the sequel, bizarrely. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen either. I heard it wasn't actually that bad. I heard it was quite good. Just to let you know, listeners,
fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. This is the way we'll be finishing every episode, by the way, listeners. Just talking about Top Gun and trying to misquote phrases. Although we could do. I
didn't misquote anything. Just to be clear.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, fine.
God bless.
And keep it local.